All right, let's have a full-on conversation about the infamous N-word and the fact that it's still being used by black people today when it should have never been used in the first place. It's casually thrown around in music, casually thrown around on basketball courts and NFL stadiums. It's casually thrown around on TV. It's casually thrown around friends and family. But let me give you a little bit of information about this N word. This is a word that was created to demean and give credibility to the destruction and inhumane treatment of everyone that looks like you, that everyone that has darker skin tones. The name is so pervasive that it actually has derivatives that they use for Arab people, derivatives that they actually use for Latin people. It is so potent, a disgusting and absolute degrading word that it shouldn't have never been brought up as a term of endearment. An idiot has often said that changing the last section of the word from an ER to an A transforms how exactly it is that it's used. And this is an idiot's way of thinking and a fool's way of thinking. Can someone please explain to me why in this day and age where you can't mislabel someone's pronouns, in this day and age where you can't label a gender to a person without knowing their entire history and what exactly it is that they wish to be called, you can't, you will lose your job, you will lose your profession. Things will go wrong for you very, very quickly should you use any of those following or those previous categories that I just mentioned, and you use those categories wrong. But you can walk around without any problem whatsoever saying the N word. Someone please explain that to me. Explain it to me how black people have accepted this word for generations, have used it against their most trusted and endeared friends and associates. A word that was actually created to define how inhuman you actually are. It was a word that was shouted as our ancestors were great and unalived. It was a word that was shouted as they sat around in masses of people around campfires or around town squares as they watched our lifeless bodies die after they strung us up for their entertainment and their entertainment only. The word was actually used when they carved pieces off of a body that had been burned, and then they sent it to their family members in different parts of the world or different parts of the country. And they would say, here's a piece of an N-word that we got rid of. And yet you shout that N-word. Yet you want to say that N-word is a term of endearment, when each and every section of that word is filled with the most vile acts done upon human beings in history. Not in recent history, not in racial history, in history, period. There are still to this day accounts that are being found of the truly despicable things that have been done to slaves, that have been done to black people in the Jim Crow era, and that have been done to black people after the Jim Crow era. And all of them have been followed by that N word that you love so much. I am talking right now to the little ones, the younger generation, the people who haven't been tainted by the acceptance of this word. Keep that word out your mouth. That word says to them, the people who've done all of the evil, despicable things, it says that you are okay with destroying your people. You're okay with forgetting your history. You're okay with burying the despicable acts that have been committed towards your people. And if you find yourself okay with that, then don't find yourself upset when you're on the end of a noose, because that is still happening to our people today. So say the N word if you wish at your peril, because all you're doing is dooming future generations of your people. And you're doing so out of sheer stupidity and ignorance. If I rubbed you the wrong way in this conversation, so be it. I am not the type of person that is going to sit here and sugarcoat something as meaningful as this conversation. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. If it rubs you the wrong way, then it rubs you the wrong way. But I'm sick and tired of people spitting and cursing our ancestors that fought through hell to be able to get the little bit of hell that we have today. I'm sick and tired of seeing these disrespectful celebrities and disrespectful athletes, these disrespectful people going over and twerking at a site where they sold black people in an auction. I'm sick and tired of hearing some of these so-called black celebrities disrespect Dr. Martin Luther King because they fed into or they listened to the propaganda that was actually put out by the FBI. I'm sick and tired of hearing people disrespect Malcolm X because he's the one who told us to separate ourselves from our enemy before we could actually become whole. I'm sick and tired of watching people forget Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, but they can remember the N-word in every single word of a song where the N-word is quoted over and over again. Get yourself together, people. If this is not you, then I'm not talking about you. Live your life. Be happy. Do good things. Be righteous. Be righteous for a good reason and know that everybody loves you. Or know that somebody loves you. As for everybody else who decides that the N-word is a part of their vocabulary, one of which they wish not to get rid of, hey man, hell is a very comfortable place to burn. And that's all I got to say to you. Take it easy, people.